Okay, we're back. I've cleaned up some of my mess. And now I'm gonna make another little one. I'm gonna teach you how to, I'm gonna show you how to make a quick pizza sauce. You can totally buy a can of jar sauce. I've done it. It's not a problem. It still tastes great because you make your dough, so it's not a big deal. What I like to do with mine is I get a little onion. Look at the size of an onion. You can use any kind of onion, just not green onions. Green onions won't be very good. I use 1 can of diced tomatoes, and it's always good to have diced tomatoes in your cupboard because they're a good go-to for a pasta. Because you can do this and make a fresh pasta, not a fresh pasta, make a quick sauce as well. And put it on there. Let's see. And I also like to take out the middle part of the onions because I just tend to think that they're really bitter. So I'll use this half of an onion, and I kind of, it doesn't have to be a perfect chop because we're gonna blend it up afterwards. Just give it a chopinski. And I have already freshly chopped garlic from last pizza night. My house smells like garlic and bacon, which should be an air freshener, I think, within itself, don't you? I do. Okay, so let's see. Where was I? It's like a little sheet in my head. Olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, or a light olive oil. I like to use a nice amount, probably about a couple tablespoons. It just adds a really good flavor to it. Make sure your heat's not too high. Add your onion. Best sound in the world is a sizzle. Turn it up a little bit. Now, and then I'm going to add my garlic. I am from the team of you cannot have too much garlic, so I'll put this much garlic in for maybe a little more. For 1 can of tomato sauce. Again, just do with what you have. If you want to use onion powder, garlic powder, that's fine too. That's not a big deal. Oops, I lost one. We got a rogie. I add about a nice pinch of salt to my onions and garlic. You want to season it early on, in between, and after. Fresh ground pepper. And just get this soft. You want to get them translucent. A little saute there. So good. I could eat that. Actually, probably could. Put it on bread. Right? Yum. My mouth is watering. Alright. Nothing too exciting. Onions are soft. This is going to cook for a while anyway. Add your can of diced tomatoes. Mix all of that in. And you can also, I'm going to add basil. I have fresh basil there that we use for our pizza. And I also have dried basil. I have a few leaves. So I'm going to use my little dried leaves. Again, use as much as you want. If you like the basil flavor, add more basil. If you don't want to add basil, don't add basil. You can just kind of play with things in the kitchen, okay? Take that. This is how my mother tastes things. She would always do this as a kid. She wouldn't put things to her mouth because then you'd have to put them back in, and it's not good. We all do it, but we can't do that. But this is recorded, so I'm not going to do it. But I would do this a lot too. She'd get some other little in the palm of her hand and go like that. Okay. Needs a little bit more salt. Again, I'm a saltaholic, so watch however much salt you like. Or if you can't use salt, don't use salt. And I'm sorry that you can't eat salt. It's very sad. Very, very sad. Alright, so we got that there. Another thing you can do at this time too is if you want to, if you have a little red wine, you're cooking with wine, just throw a little splash in there. It's not overrated at all. This is an immersion blender. I've had this for many years. One of the best tools that you should have in your kitchen. It's fantastic. And if you don't have one of these, you can just take this off the heat. I like to cook this for a little bit more. You don't have to. Take it off the heat, and put it in the blender. But you don't want to put hot things in the blender because it'll explode, so you have to make sure the lid's a little bit off, okay? You can also use tomato puree or crushed tomatoes. Just zap it, see? And it does just yum. Just breaks everything down, just blends it in the pot. So you don't have to get anything else dirty. Well, except the immersion blend. A lot easier to clean than a regular blender. Sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. Two, if you don't have basil, you can also use oregano in this, which is also yummy, or an Italian seasoning. And I'm going to keep this on and let it reduce a little bit more, just because it can. And our pizza dough should be actually almost ready. See, this is it's about 45-50 minutes, and we could totally use it right now, which we might start bubbling. I should probably taste it. Then I go like this and I'll use it. And this side, then I'll turn it. That'll work. So you gotta get that off and let that cool down for our pizza. See how fast that was? Easy. Opening a jar of pizza sauce is just as easy and just as good too. Alright, we're gonna come back. We're gonna chop up some veggies to put on our pizza, and we're gonna assemble our pizzas. Hi, we're back chopping our veggies. Now, this is one of my favorites. This is my leftover. Again, bell peppers, red peppers, because I love them on my pizza. I like the color. People can usually, sometimes they cut them like this, but I think it kind of wastes all that. And you know, I just don't like wasting, so I don't do it that way. When I have enough money, I probably still won't do that because I don't like to waste food. So I like to get as much as I can of the bits. I like cutting them in strips. If you like little chunks, cut them in chunks. Cut them however you're gonna eat them. My husband will, well, he'll chew them down, but not his favorite thing to eat is vegetables. That's why I had half the pig on the counter. How big?
I one more thing.
Oh, there's my girl. I told you to put some chonies on, some shorts on, girlfriend. Alright. So that's probably enough for me now. Of course, I'll save it for next time. And if you have any leftover vegetables when you make your pizzas, save them, use them for an omelet the next day. So that's also a good idea, right? I like to thinly slice the onions because we both eat onions and we love our onions. This was the other half of the onion I used for our sauce. So there you go. And sadly, I think that's enough. I'm like, I think that might be enough. Actually, we're still chop more because you know what? Never have too much onion. See, onion I had left over. I'll use this well. Use your leftovers, mushrooms, olives. You can also make this a vegetarian pizza. Don't use any meat, of course, and even vegan. You get some veggie cheese, and you have yourself a lovely vegan pizza. So there we go. This is usually our staples. Onions for sure, fresh chopped garlic, duh, and then pig. You can also, if you don't want to cook all this animal yumminess, you can buy pepperonis. You can do ham that's already done. So lots of options. So this is what I also chop up the bacon because you can put a full slice of bacon if you want to. But it's your pizza. We chop it up and then sprinkle it all over. Just kind of crunch that up. Seriously, this is like stupid. Bacon fat, you like the best thing ever. Oh my god. I remember the first time I had pork belly, which is basically just like this much meat and like that much fat. It was really good. It was one of the best things I've ever eaten. So, I recommend, if you like bacon, try pork belly. Alright, there's that. I'm going to turn our oven on because another tip, and actually is quite important to do, have your oven at the highest setting without it being on broil. So mine goes up to 550 degrees, and you actually probably preset it when you're chopping your veggies because it takes a minute. You want to have a really hot oven, and you want to have, you want to come over here real quick, babe?
Yeah.
Your rack.
Mama,
I know it sounds weird because you think your food is going to burn, but trust me, it won't burn. It might get a little crispy, but you want to have your rack at the bottom, the lowest rack, to put your pizza on. That'll give you a crispier crust, a crispy crust. And then I put one midway, so if we have to swap them out, I'll show you when we're cooking. Because sometimes,
Yeah.
I'll show you in a minute.
Yeah.
We're going to be assembling our pizzas
Yeah.
when we come back.